Hey, welcome back to this mini lecture. This one is on historical visualizations. This is one of New York City. Can you tell where this is? Can you tell where this is? You might be able to see from the top. It might give you a hint. This is a map of China. It's from the 11th century. It's from Yu Chi Tu. It's of their adventures. For those of you who know Chinese geography, this is really accurate in terms of the coastline and as well as the river networks. FYI, this was done in the 11th century. A sort of a map that was the equivalent of this detail and accuracy did not happen in Europe until 1500s or around 1550. This is by Van Longeren. Can you tell where this is? You can tell by maybe the names. It's from Toledo in Spain, all the way, which is on the far left, to Rome, Roma, on the right. It's degrees of longitude. It's the very first statistical data map ever made. If you can turn your head to the side, you can see some famous names. Around the 20 grade, you see Mercator, you see Ptolemy, Brahe, a couple of other big names, like large well-known map makers and people who were bigger names back in those days. Can you tell what this is? You've probably seen this kind of picture whenever you go to see an alumni gathering. This is the U.S. American Historical Society. One of like when you see these things, they're actually quite marvels in efficiency in terms of how they are able to communicate. They use, the top is the original picture of the people. The middle is the pictures of the heads to give numbers, which are tied to the bottom listing of names by number in a numerical order. And then I'll zoom in here and you can see what they do, which is quite clever. If you see around in the middle, a little bit to the right of the middle, it's number 125. There is a man with a goatee. Right beside him, to his right, you see a woman, 3 or 4 people down. She's wearing a hat. Right beside her, you see a woman with certain hair. So you find a certain person in the crowd that is identifiable based on the heads drawn below, and you can number 150-ish people really accurately. This is what Edward Tufte would say is probably the most significant and best done visualization in human history. It's by Charles Menard, a French engineer. I talk about it in another lecture on maps. It shows Napoleon's march to Moscow from left. It's the top line, the tan color. It goes all the way up to Moscow, Moscou, which is a different spelling, and then all the way the black line is all the way back to France. It charts. So the width of the tan line is the number of people involved who are soldiers, and as you notice over time it gets thinner and thinner, hence denoting that the number of troops gets smaller and smaller. You see little markings on it about the number of troops. There are the number of troops. There are significant elements like rivers. There are populations of the total number of soldiers in numbers. There are place names. And also at the bottom you can see things like the actual temperature at certain periods of time. It's really complex, done quite elegantly. It's quite a beautiful map. We're going to talk about the idea of small multiples. Have you seen this? Who or what is this? Can you see? Can you see? Can you see? It's quite famous, especially for you, those of you who study political philosophy. As you see in the middle, it says it gives a hint right towards the middle bottom. It is Leviathan by the great Thomas Hobbes. This is where the source of the quote, the life of man is solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short, which maybe seems to be applying more and more these days. But don't worry, friends, we'll get through this. One of the things it does this thing called small multiples, which I'll just shortly show. If you see the person's body, so that is like supposed to be the king. And then the king's body is made up of different little people who are like the constituents who are being ruled by them. So again, it's like really interesting where you can just draw a body regularly, or you could use these small multiples to sort of help emphasize the point you're trying to make. This is really a really economical and well done piece of work. Basically, you have. Let's just focus on the left. It's probably simpler because I think more people are more familiar with the pictures on the left. It's the globe done over time from the upper Carboniferous era to Eocene to lower Quaternary. So thousands of years of human civilization and even before human civilization, just the history of the world is done, and it shows how the continents become separate over time. And so basically, by three different pictures of the planet, subtly changed. These small multiples help to show, again, tectonic plate shifting in the world really, really elegantly. This is another small multiple. Can you tell what this is? Can you tell what this is? Read it left to right, top line and then bottom line. It is from Edward Muybridge. It's a man playing piggyback. So basically at the top, the guy in the hat is running. He confronts a man in front of him. He puts his arm on his shoulders, jumps over top, and then continues going off. And this is based on a series of photographs seen better here. So again, if you wanted to, you could describe what piggybacking is, or you could just show what it is right there by these small multiples. Small multiples are a great way to explain simple differences between different elements. That was historical visualizations. My name is Dino. Thanks so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you again real soon.